Channel 11 News starts with breaking news.
I can think of no action the House can take that's more likely to further divide the American people.
These were not patriots. These were traitors. These were domestic terrorists, Mr. Speaker. And they were acting under the orders of Donald Trump.
Breaking at noon, a live look now here at the House of Representatives, which will begin debating in the next 15 minutes whether to impeach President Donald Trump for an unprecedented second time. Good afternoon, I'm Gordon Lesh. The move comes exactly a week after a violent mob took over the U.S. Capitol for hours and attack many lawmakers say was incited by the president. NBC's Jay Gray is in Washington monitoring the latest.
The center of our nation's government is off-center right now. Troops actually sleeping overnight on the grounds of the Capitol. That symbol of freedom locked down. As for the second time in his administration,
House will be in order.
Lawmakers bring impeachment charges against President Trump.
If these actions are not worthy of impeachment, then what is an impeachable offense?
This is a reckless impeachment. This will only bring up the hate and fire more than ever before.
The official charge is incitement of insurrection.
We fight. We fight like hell. And if you don't fight like hell, you're not going to have a country anymore.
After the president rallied supporters just before their deadly attack a week ago today, a speech the president says was, quote, totally appropriate, though a growing number of those in his party disagree. And unlike the first time he faced charges from Congress now, prominent Republicans, including Liz Cheney, say they will vote for impeachment. The Wyoming Congresswoman writing, there has never been a greater betrayal by a president of the United States of his office and his oath to the Constitution. The impeachment measure is expected to easily pass and will move on to the Senate. And there are indications that this time around some Senate Republicans could vote in favor of impeachment. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell telling the New York Times that he's pleased the House brought up charges and that he believes the president has committed impeachable offenses. Jay Gray, NBC News, Washington.
As lawmakers debate the president's political fate, workers are busy securing the Capitol for the inauguration, now just 1 week away. This morning, high fences went up around the vice president's residence at the Naval Observatory. It was a similar scene about 4 miles away at the U.S. Capitol. Large metal gates surround the massive complex, and visitors and lawmakers now must go through checkpoints set up by the U.S. Capitol Police just to enter the Capitol. And here's a sign of the times: National Guard members sleeping in the visitor center of the Capitol. At least 10,000 troops from across the country are being deployed to Washington for the inauguration. For comparison, about 340 Guard members were deployed last week when hundreds of rioters stormed the Capitol complex. Also, unlike last week, this time the Guard members are armed. The threats are not limited to the Capitol. The FBI has warned of threats to all 50 state capitals. The field office in Pittsburgh says they tracked down the person behind reports of potential violence leading up to Inauguration Day. Agents say they talked directly to that person, saying, quote, at this time, we are not aware of any related threats in our region. The FBI takes all threats seriously and fully investigates each threat. And breaking in the last few minutes, Channel 11's Aaron Martin just learned the FBI Pittsburgh office is investigating several people in western Pennsylvania for their involvement in the riot at the Capitol. He's also asking about what they're doing to make sure there's no violence leading up to the inauguration. Watch for more developments coming up tonight at 5 o'clock. Federal investigators are shedding light on some disturbing and serious details of Wednesday's attack on the Capitol. That includes the FBI's internal report warning of a, quote, war at the Capitol, issued just 1 day before last Wednesday's deadly siege. Now, federal investigators from coast to coast are pursuing many of those involved, and they vow to leave no stone unturned.
6 days, we have opened over 160 case files, and that's just the tip of the iceberg.
I anticipate that's going to grow to the hundreds in the next coming weeks. We've already charged over 70 cases.
2 Capitol police officers have been suspended. One was seen in photographs with the rioters. The other was seen walking among the crowds wearing a hat emblazoned with President Trump's campaign slogan. Severe Weather Team 11 coverage now, and meteorologist Danielle Dozier joining us. Danielle, a little sunny out there and kind of windy.
Yeah, we do have the breeze out there, and nice to see some sunshine, Gordon. It's 34 degrees. The wind chill, though, down to 25 because we have a wind at 11 miles per hour. Make sure you have your coat on. You're going to need it this afternoon, despite the temperatures climbing above the freezing mark across all of the area. Right now, Greensburg at 36 and Indiana at 36. These temperatures are pushing above average once again this afternoon. Our wind chills, though, are down in the mid to upper 20s, and I'm afraid to say those winds will be strong throughout the rest of the day today, so it'll keep those wind chills rather low into the 20s. South-southwest winds around 10 to 15, could gust as high as 20 miles per hour as the air temperature comes up to 40. We're going to have a partly sunny sky. I do expect more clouds building in again tonight, and there are going to be some areas that see some rain and snow mix as soon as tomorrow morning. I've got the latest data and storm tracker maps to show you coming up in just several minutes.
All right, thanks, Danielle. Breaking at noon, the Allegheny County Health Department just released its latest number of COVID cases, and in the last 24 hours, there were 670 new cases reported. Those cases range in age from 7 months to 95 years old. There were also 74 deaths, but 73 of those were from December. The health department says the lag in reporting is because of a backlog at the state level.
Congratulations, Senator.
Well, it took longer than expected, but State Senator Jim Brewster joined his fellow lawmakers in Harrisburg today. The Democrat, who represents parts of Allegheny and Westmoreland counties, was sworn in just after 11 o'clock this morning. Channel 11 told you yesterday a federal judge upheld his November victory in the race for the 45th district. The judge threw out a lawsuit filed by Republican challenger Nicole Ziccarelli. She argued that 311 mail-in ballots from Allegheny County that were missing dates should not be counted. Brewster won the election by just 69 votes. Ziccarelli released a statement saying, based on the razor-thin election results in this district, there is no question that we are divided right down the middle. I'm asking all of us to come together and support Senator Brewster. Weeks after a Butler County native was murdered on the side of a Nashville highway, a second man has now been charged with her death. Metro Police in Nashville arrested 28-year-old James Cohen last night. He was picked up as he arrived at an apartment complex there. He had been placed on the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation's most wanted list as a second suspect in the murder of Caitlin Kaufman. Investigators believe he was in the car with this man, Devontae Hill. Police claim Hill shot and killed Kaufman, who was driving to work her nursing shift. Her car was hit 6 times, but the motive is still not clear. Kaufman was a Chicora native and graduated from Butler Area High School in 2012. The 26-year-old moved to Nashville, where she became an ICU nurse, working on the front lines during the pandemic. Police say Kaufman did not know either of the men. We'll continue to follow this story and work to bring you the latest updates. Place a decal on your car and get paid. Seems too good to be true. That's because it is. Channel 11's Mike Holden explains the signs you need to be looking out for so you aren't the next victim.
The promise is simple and easy. Place a company's logo right here on the side of your door and make money almost instantaneously. Well, experts are warning this afternoon this is a major scam and don't buy into any of it. Everyone is looking for a quick buck as the pandemic continues to drag out. The FTC is now sounding the alarm on a growing scam that focuses on advertising businesses right on the side of your car doors. People posing as representatives from big-name cigarette and hand sanitizing companies are reaching out to area folks. They say if you wrap their logo on your car door, you'll get a couple $100 a week. One big problem, though, they have nothing to do with the brand, and it turns into a check cashing scheme. The bogus company will ask you to deposit a check into your bank account. Then they'll tell you to pay the decal agent to install the non-existent logo. Officials say the check is fake, and the decal agent is not a real person. They say it's nearly impossible to trace the check back to the initial sender or get your money back, so just don't buy into it.
If someone is really trying to pressure you to deposit that check, turn around and send that money elsewhere within a short time frame, say 24 hours or such, that should always be a red flag that it is a fake check scam.
And if you do fall victim, report it to the Better Business Bureau or Federal Trade Commission immediately. Meantime, what is the biggest mistake folks continue to make, and how can you verify the company that is actually reaching out to you? We're breaking down that part of the story for Channel 11 News starting at 5 o'clock tonight. Reporting this afternoon, Mike Holden, Channel 11 News.
The second round of stimulus payments are going out right now, and some people will receive theirs in the form of an economic impact payment card, essentially a prepaid debit card. If you're not careful with that card, you could rack up some fees. If you have a personal bank account, your best bet is to transfer the entire debit card balance into your own account. Also, watch out which ATM you use. When you use your stimulus card at an ATM within the Allpoint network, you won't have to pay a fee. And you should know every time you check your balance, you'll be charged 25 cents. Doesn't look like much now, but soon this old church could be a local hub for arts and entertainment and more. Channel 11's Alyssa Raymond spoke with the man behind the effort about his vision for the building and the community.
This church in Stanton Heights is the future home of Steel City Arts Foundation. It's a place where comedians will be able to live, create content, and entertain. Steve Hofstetter, a comedian currently in LA, is bringing this to Pittsburgh. Steve doesn't have any ties to the city. He actually found the building first, then did some research and discovered Pittsburgh is only a short drive away from 18 other comedy markets. He says if people call him crazy for doing this during a pandemic,
they wouldn't be entirely wrong, but my bet is that by the time we're ready to open, the pandemic will be in our rearview mirror, or at least be close, and we won't open until it is. But once it's safe to do shows again, we're going to be ready.
So what does Pittsburgh and the average stand-up comic have in common? This sounds like a joke, but it's not. Here's Steve's answer tonight at 5. Plus, find out the timeline for when this place could realistically open to the public. Reporting in Stanton Heights, Alyssa Raymond, Channel 11 News.
So I was living there temporarily, but I never left.
And she made history in the process. Channel 11 sits down with a retired Pittsburgh police officer who blazed a trail for women everywhere.
We need help.
Many local business owners probably feel the way this woman does. How the return of hockey might just be the chance she and others so desperately need. New details about a train accident that killed a man in Swissvale last January. The medical examiner says it was an accident. This is video from the scene. County police said at the time that Walter Gunter was walking along the tracks near the corner of South Braddock and Woodstock Avenues when he was struck. Gunter was 45 years old and lived in Rankin. It is hockey night in Pittsburgh, but this year there's more on the line than hometown pride. Some businesses are really relying on the return of the Penguins just to stay afloat. Channel 11's Jennifer Tomazik visited a local business that many diehard Pens fans know very well.
This is what it's like to own a small business in Pittsburgh right now.
Through the tears, Carly Moore took to Facebook to show the empty seats at her family-owned business, Super Bowl Restaurant and Lounge. It's catty corner to PPG Paints Arena, where hockey fans have been absent for almost a year.
We need help.
She's hoping that help comes from some familiar faces tonight.
We miss everybody. Like, we want to see our hockey people. Hockey being back is kind of our last-ditch effort to bring any income in.
The restaurant that has been in Carly's family since the 80s is getting ready to reopen for the Penguins' first game of the season tonight. They made the tough decision to close after Thanksgiving because no hockey meant no pregame drinks, no Saturday afternoon lunch before the game, and only a handful of sales during the day when they were actually open.
We kept our full-time employees on payroll through Thanksgiving, and I think a lot of that was coming out of my dad's pocket to pay them. But the part-time employees haven't gotten anything.
She says they went through the first round of PPP rather quickly, and they're hoping for more help because right now, the future of her family's business is uncertain.
People are seeing like, oh, this really affects people. Like, it's not just a business, it's their families that are losing their livelihoods over this.
As Jennifer Tomazik reporting, the owners hope to hold Penguin watch parties once a week for now. And more details now. It is Restaurant Week. The event gives restaurants the chance to showcase their menus and the local food culture. You can head over to WPXI.com for a link to the Restaurant Week site where you can find all the participating restaurants. And there's a new tool aimed at helping Pennsylvania restaurants. The COVID Inspection Dashboard allows you to find places to eat. It shows you who is open, who is offering takeout, and also who is accused of violating COVID rules. State officials say they're working with businesses to drive online sales while keeping people safe. There's also a second site created by the Pittsburgh Restaurant and Lodging Association called Carry Out PA. It allows you to search for delivery and curbside pickup. Well, there were no winners from last night's Mega Millions drawing. That means the jackpot now grows to $750 million, and that is the second largest prize ever. No ticket matched all 6 numbers drawn Tuesday, but if you win the jackpot on Friday, the lump cash option would get you $550 million. Mega Millions isn't the only big jackpot waiting to be won right now. The Powerball is also $550 million. The winning numbers will be drawn tonight at 11. You can watch it right here on Channel 11.
Human. They looked like a human, like someone who needs braces real bad.
The man is talking about a piranha-like fish that was recently found in southern Butler County. It's called a pacu, and it's native to South America. Officials with the Pennsylvania Fish and Boat Commission think it was dumped there. The nearly 2-foot-long fish was found on the banks of Glade Run Lake in December. The Glade Run Conservancy says in addition to outcompeting native fish for food, it can also bring disease to the lake and beyond.
It's kind of surprising that something like that would turn up here and live this long, because obviously it's been cold for a couple of months now.
Officials say they've worked hard to make this lake a destination for fishing, and they're urging everyone not to dump anything in the water.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Well, it's nice to see that sunshine out there as we look over the city. A bit of haze that has been reported out there this morning as well. Visible satellite shows what we did have out there this morning on the latest loop, which was a little bit of cloud cover to start the day, but you could see how those clouds continue to push off toward the south and the east here at this hour. I do expect more clouds to build in, though, tonight. The temperatures will be falling into the low 30s overnight tonight after topping out near 40 degrees this afternoon. And we do have a bit of a breeze, so again, it will be feeling colder out there today. So you're going to need your coat. And then overnight tonight, as I mentioned, they cool to near freezing into tomorrow morning, which, yes, will be cold, but it won't be as cold as what we have been tracking, which has been temperatures in the low to middle 20s. So our lows are going to be well above average. Average is 21 for the day of the year, and the average high is 35, and we'll get close to about 42 the way it looks right now on our model data during the afternoon tomorrow. So another bit of a warm up, if you will, as we head into Thursday. If you're wanting to get outside the next few days, today is a great day to do it, albeit cold, so have your coat on. Here's a look at Thursday, and some rain and snow is possible early in the morning. I'll show you that in just a second. And then we look ahead to Friday, where we are still tracking that rain and snow mix across the area, a little more widespread. And then Saturday, we are looking at some snow. It's not really the greatest weather to get out when it's rain and snow, but I figure if it's just some light snow, it's not too bad to get outside if you wanted to head for a walk or a jog. You can see our storm tracker maps into tomorrow morning. Wanted to get you updated on this because our latest data does show that from Pittsburgh to points north could actually see a little bit of rain and snow mix during the morning hours of Thursday. Now, I will tell you the latest data shows it, but yesterday as we were talking here on the noon show, it was actually keeping it up along I-80 and to the north. So places like Franklin and Clarion were getting in on it. But watch what happens when I advance the clock, and you can see our latest data showing some of this precipitation coming as far south as about Pittsburgh, and then to the east into northern Westmoreland County, and then points to the north. So places like Beaver, Newcastle, Butler, Katanning, Indiana, you may also see a little bit of rain or snow as we head into the morning tomorrow. And then also along the I-80 corridor, I'm going to keep that in the forecast for you as we progress through the morning. Here's 8 a.m. You can see a little bit of snow activity there in southern Clarion County and parts of Venango County as well. And then that's going to be clearing on out of here. So it's a quick in and out system. It's a weather disturbance, and we have just enough moisture, it looks like now, where we could get in on a little bit of that. However, as I mentioned, by the late morning and early afternoon, it should be out of here, and we're quiet for the back half of the day. My 5-day forecast with your weekend always in view. We are still expecting the rain and snow on Friday with the temperature near 40 degrees. And your weekend, if you do have any outdoor plans, just stay alert to those changing weather conditions, as we're going to be tracking some scattered snow showers. And of course, if you get under some of those lake effect snow bands, it could rack up quite a bit of snow in just a short period of time and lead to some reduced visibility. We'll keep you posted on how much snow we think we're going to see. And coming up in the next half hour, I'll walk you hour by hour through my storm tracker maps as we head into Friday and your weekend if you do have any plans.
All right, thanks, Danielle. 1 minute he's there, the next he's gone. This man is lucky to be alive after being pummeled by a massive wave. This happened yesterday in California. The Harbor Patrol says the man was walking along the rock jetty when that wave hit. Thankfully for him, 2 nearby strangers saw what was happening and rushed in to save him.
But when I didn't see him on the rocks and I realized that he'd gotten washed down, then I just turned out my phone, threw it in the pocket, and like, boom, just basically raced for the water.
The man is expected to be okay. The Harbor Patrol said they appreciate the effort, but Good Samaritans also need to be aware of the danger they're putting themselves in. Remote learning is keeping kids physically healthy, but at what cost? The new challenges kids are facing as we get deeper into the school year. And good for the environment and businesses. The advantages, GM says its new electric vans will give those businesses. Another live look inside the Capitol this afternoon. The House is debating whether to introduce an article of impeachment, incitement of insurrection against President Donald Trump. It claims the president provoked last week's deadly riot in the Capitol. We'll continue to monitor this developing and historic situation and break back in with any new developments. It's being called the largest industrial investment sale in Pittsburgh history. According to our partners at the Pittsburgh Business Times, the Findlay Township building that houses Amazon has a new owner. San Francisco-based Stockbridge Capital Group bought the 1 million square foot distribution facility. It was part of a larger deal that included buildings in 21 cities. From produce to pedicures, a nail salon will soon be moving into the old produce terminal in the Strip District. Envy Premier Nail Spa is expected to open this summer. The company has other locations in Mount Lebanon, South Fayette, and Upper St. Clair. The owner says she grew up spending Saturday mornings with her mother at the produce terminal and says it's amazing to see its comeback. The health crisis that could lead to manslaughter charges for a former governor.
The whole upstairs was filled with smoke.
And her house filling with smoke, alarms going off. Why this local woman says it took her so long to figure out a fire was burning in her home. Breaking in now, here's another live look inside the Capitol. Democratic lawmakers are discussing why they are proposing to impeach President Trump again. Let's listen in.
The chair recognizes the gentleman from New York, Mr. Nadler.
Madam Speaker, I ask unanimous consent that all members may have 5 legislative days in which to revise and extend their remarks and insert extraneous material on HRES 224.
Without objection.
Madam Speaker, I yield 1 minute to the distinguished Speaker of the House, the gentlelady from California, Ms. Pelosi.
The gentlewoman from California is yielded 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I thank the gentleman for yielding and for his leadership. Madam Speaker, in his annual address to our predecessors in Congress in 1862, President Abraham Lincoln spoke of the duty of the patriot in an hour of decisive crisis for the American people. Fellow citizens, he said, we cannot escape history. We will be remembered in spite of ourselves. No personal significance or insignificance can spare one or another of us. The fiery trial through which we pass will light us down in honor or dishonor to the latest generation. Even we here, he said, hold the power and bear the responsibility. In the Bible, St. Paul wrote, think on these things. We must think on what Lincoln told us. We, even us here, hold the power and bear the responsibility. We, you and I, hold and trust the power that derives most directly from the people of the United States. And we bear the responsibility to fill that oath that we all swear before God and before one another. The oath to defend the Constitution against all enemies, foreign and domestic, so help us God. We know that we faced enemies of the Constitution. We know we experienced the insurrection that violated the sanctity of the people's capital and attempted to overturn the duly recorded will of the American people. And we know that the President of the United States incited this insurrection, this armed rebellion against our common country. He must go. He is a clear and present danger to the nation that we all love. Since the presidential election in November, an election the president lost, he has repeatedly lied about the outcome, sowed self-serving doubt about democracy, and unconstitutionally sought to influence state officials to repeal reality. And then came that day of fire we all experienced. The president must be impeached, and I believe the president must be convicted by the Senate, a constitutional remedy that will ensure that the Republic will be safe from this man who was so resolutely determined to tear down the things that we hold dear and that hold us together.
That's House Speaker Nancy Pelosi. They're speaking live right now in Washington, D.C. as Democrats debate impeachment of President Donald Trump. We'll continue to listen in and monitor this developing situation and break it back in with any new developments. As virtual learning continues, we are seeing more reports that student anxiety levels are at an all-time high, and it comes while their grades are dropping.
It became a lot more harder because they started piling on more work.
Students say for some, the day starts on Zoom at 8 in the morning, followed by homework, sometimes until midnight, and they feel frustrated when they can't see or hear their teachers.
Finally, I had to just tell her that, you're trying as hard as you can. If in the end you don't make it through, then you did all you could do.
Mental health experts say if your child is overworked and stressed, make sure kids are taking breaks for lunch and dinner and make time for fun. Severe Weather Team 11 meteorologist rejoining us, Danielle Dozier. And Danielle, windy out there this afternoon.
Yeah, we have winds sustained at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Our forecast to be so in the next few hours as well. Could have a gust to 20. And then later on tonight, we watch those winds come down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. It'll make it feel even colder out there. So a temperature near 40 this afternoon. If you're out walking 6, 7, and 8 o'clock, we're in the upper 30s. You're going to want to have your coat on because it will feel a lot colder when you factor in those winds. Still to come, a look at that rain and snow headed our way as we head into the end of the week.
How did I make history? He said they never had a woman achieve that rank.
She's known to her colleagues and those in Pittsburgh police as The Rock. Teresa Rocco spent nearly 50 years in law enforcement, from investigating missing children cases to making history. Channel 11's Rick Earl sits down with one of the first women in the country to be named assistant police chief.
There was a woman from our district who was supposed to fill it, and she was sick. So I went in there temporarily, but I never left.
Teresa Rocco turned that temporary position at the Pittsburgh Police Bureau into a 46-year career, culminating when she became one of the first women in the country to be named an assistant police chief. What was that like?
It was good, you know. And I remember one of the supervisors saying, "Do you realize you just made history?" And I said, "How did I make history?" He said, "They never had a woman achieve that rank."
But it wasn't easy. Rocco says in the early years, she faced discrimination in the workplace.
In spite of the fact that I faced discrimination, they wouldn't hesitate to come and ask me for help. I would know about someone that discriminated against me verbally, and then I'd see him at my door. "Can you help me out?"
Rocco grew up in the Lower Hill District and was only 19 when she went to work at the police bureau. Her remarkable rise from clerk to assistant chief detailed in her 2017 memoir. And now there's even a documentary about her life, appropriately called The Rock.
So I grew up with her as my hero.
And at police headquarters, there's a room named in her honor. Rocco's passion on the job and in life was helping children. She concentrated her police work on missing children.
Those were the cases that I was totally and completely devoted to.
Rocco devoted her life to the case of 10-year-old Marianne Verdecchia, who vanished from Bloomfield in 1962. She was last seen talking to a man in a station wagon.
Nobody ever knew where she went, who found her. Unquestionably, she was murdered. And I worked on that. Oh.
Rocco retired from the force in 1994 with the DeVecchia case never closed. But in 2018, she helped Pittsburgh police solve another case. After discovering skeletal remains at a home in Garfield, investigators called on Rocco. And old files in her basement, including dental records, helped police identify the remains.
I solved that case, and it was such an unusual way to solve it. I had detectives up here that I was communicating with to give them information.
As you look back on your career, you've had some time, obviously, to think about it. What's the most remarkable thing that you were able to accomplish?
There were so many, particularly when I located someone that was missing for a long, long time. Nobody could locate them.
Was that the best feeling, the best moment of your career?
The greatest feeling. I mean, there were incidents where somebody had been missing for a long time, assumed to be dead, and I found him. I was good at that.
That makes it all worthwhile, I guess.
Yeah, I was pretty good at locating people.
Rocco says she never set out to become a police officer, but in the end says it turned out to be a calling.
It was meant to be, because I firmly and truthfully believe that we're put into areas where you're needed. I made it my life, and I have no regrets.
In Brookline, Rick Earl, Channel 11 News.
Michigan's former governor could face charges of involuntary manslaughter in connection with the Flint water crisis. Rick Snyder and his team ordered Flint to switch from the city of Detroit water to the Flint River to save money back in 2014. But the river water was corrosive and caused lead poisoning, and several people died from Legionnaire's outbreaks. Thanks, but no thanks. The type of fundraising GoFundMe says it will no longer allow. A local canine officer has some added protection. Joy with the McCandless Police Department has a new bullet and stab-resistant vest. The protective gear was a donation from Vested Interest, which works to raise awareness of canine officer safety. Joy's been with the department since 2017. The new gear is the same worn by the department's human officers. Honoring fallen police officers by helping others. The third annual Fallen Officers Food Drive is set for this weekend. You're asked to drop off dry or canned goods at Mogi's Irish Pub in Laurel Burrell this Saturday from 10 to 5. The items collected will benefit the St. Margaret Mary Food Bank. The drive-in is in honor of officers Derek Katecki and Brian Shaw, both killed in the line of duty. New year, new strategy. Changes you can make now and save yourself money later.
I cannot smell a thing, and that's very unusual. But with the COVID, I definitely have no sense of smell.
No sense of smell, with smoke spreading fast through her house. A local woman was just minutes away from being trapped as her house caught fire. Cindy Hebel tells us that she couldn't smell the smoke because of COVID-19, and she wanted to share her story to show everyone how quickly situations can get out of control. Cindy says she heard a loud bang, and that's when the fire alarm blasted through her Monessen home.
It sounded so piercing, and I jumped up. By then, I saw, how did I didn't know, the whole upstairs was filled with smoke.
Turns out her cat was involved. It knocked over the toaster, and it fell into a wicker basket, setting it on fire. Fortunately, Cindy got out safely, and crews on the scene told us this is a perfect example of how smoke detectors save lives. Are you planning to spend your money differently this year? From passwords to credit cards, for many, it's time for a change. NBC's Bob Hansen explains how you can improve your financial footing in 2021.
I don't even know. We tend to be loyal to our credit cards, but maybe it's time to look inside our wallet or purse and do some reevaluating.
The best credit card for you is one that fits your lifestyle the best. And honestly, a lot of people's lifestyles aren't the same now that they were a year ago because of the pandemic.
For instance, Matt Schultz with Lending Tree says, do you really need that airline credit card with the annual fee when you're not going anywhere?
And if they don't match up with how you're spending and what your goals are, then you should be perfectly willing to go look for other cards.
Instead, Schultz says, consider a card that pays cash back. And speaking of credit cards, if you're paying interest on multiple cards, maybe it's time to consolidate your debt with a lower interest rate card or loan.
And if you can make it to where it's simpler for you to manage that debt and knock down your interest in the process, then it's a really good idea.
It's also a good idea to know where you stand financially, and that means checking your credit report. It used to be you could only check your report once a year for free. Now through April, you can check it every week.
So if you haven't done it in a while, take advantage of those reports being as available as they've ever been right now, and it'll be a good thing for you.
You can do it online by going to annualcreditreport.com. That's annualcreditreport.com. You won't get your credit score, but you will see all the information that's collected about you that does impact your score.
That was Bob Hansen reporting, and if you find something in your report that's not right, you can start the process to clear it up, and that will make a difference in raising your score. GoFundMe is the latest company to change business practices after the attack on the Capitol last week. The platform says it will no longer let people raise money for travel expenses used for potentially violent political events. A GoFundMe spokesperson says the company has removed a number of fundraisers intended for that purpose. But GoFundMe is also being used for good during this time. A fundraiser was started to raise money for Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick's family. He died from his injuries sustained during the Capitol siege. Introducing BrightDrop. It's General Motors' new vehicle brand that is used to sell electric delivery vans. FedEx Express will be the first customer to get 500 of the vans this year. GM says these electric vehicles can go up to 250 miles on a charge. The automaker says during testing, FedEx drivers were able to handle 25% more packages.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Welcome back into weather. Taking a look over the city. Still have the sun, 34 degrees. Wind chill, though, at 25. So it is cold out there when you factor in the wind today out of the south-southwest right now, at least at 11 miles per hour. In Butler, it's 35. Greensburg at 36. Same thing in Indiana. Washington checking in at 37. We'll touch near 40 this afternoon, it appears, and then tonight we're going to build back in the cloud cover. The winds will turn lighter as well. Winds out of the south-southwest are expected right around 5 to 10 miles per hour. Also, the cloud cover and a wind generally out of the south is going to keep the temperatures up a little bit more so into tomorrow morning with a low down to about freezing. Now, yes, it's still cold, but nowhere near as cold as the low 20s, which is what we've had out there this morning. And over the last couple of mornings, we've been in the 20s. Here's the hour by hour for tomorrow. I am expecting to see some of that cloud cover early and then giving way to maybe a little break in the clouds as we head into the afternoon. Temperature at 8 o'clock right around 33, climbing to 39 at noon. And if we can break out some sunshine throughout the afternoon, looks like we'll be climbing close to 40 once again on your Thursday. If you were hoping to wash the car, today's the day to do it. We do have a chance for a little bit of light snow in the morning or some flurries here in Pittsburgh. Better shot's going to be up to the north. And then as we head into Friday, we do have rain and snow in the picture. Saturday, we're going to have some scattered snow showers as well. So both of those days, not really the greatest to wash the car. It'll just get dirty all over again. Storm tracker maps here in the morning on Thursday showing that we do have that chance for some light snow. Earlier, I showed you the latest model run had it coming into Pittsburgh. Looks like I still think Pittsburgh, northern Allegheny County up to the north having a chance for at least a little bit of flurry action or some light snow showers. You can see northern Beaver County into southern Lawrence County here, Mercer right there. Here's Venango County up there, and then this is going to be sliding off toward the east throughout the morning on Thursday. So don't be surprised if you see a little bit of rain, maybe even a little bit of snow flying in the morning in those areas. Now, as we head into Friday, we do expect things to change. It's going to be more widespread precipitation. So that means that places like Waynesburg, Washington, who are not included in the chance for a rain or snow mix tomorrow, will be as we head into Friday. So it's more widespread. Precip going from south to north across the area here, at least stretching that way. It'll be moving in from the west. Newcastle, Butler, Pittsburgh, all dealing with some precipitation. 10 o'clock in the morning on Friday. Latest model shows a little bit of rain here in the city. Snow showers here in Butler where it could mix with a little bit of rain. That's that purple shaded color. And then that's going to be kicking on out of here. And then we'll be left with some more rain and snow as we head into Friday afternoon. I'll show you that in a second. I want to show you this in the meantime. These are the weather alerts out in the country. And I'm showing you this because this is how strong this weather system is that'll be impacting Friday into the weekend. High wind warnings here. Parts of the mountains of Montana could see wind gusts up to 90 miles per hour. And here in the center part of the country, they're looking at sustained winds 60 to 70 miles per hour. Can you believe it? Really strong weather system for them. For us, we are looking at rain and snow on Friday. That'll be some snow showers coming back into the picture as we head into your Saturday as well. And your weekend will be trending much colder. We're looking at high temperatures during the weekend, only in the lower 30s. Gordon.
Thanks, Danielle. Now here's local steals and deals.
Hey, so I am in the kitchen, which I have to say, don't be shocked. Up until a few months ago, I wasn't even sure what this room was, but this is a kitchen and this is where good food happens. And I have had the chance to really experiment and find out that, you know what, even if I don't know what I'm doing, I can end up with some great food. And if I have the right tools, it's super easy. So I've been hearing everybody, by the way, talk about air frying. And I thought, okay, air frying, that sounds complicated and I can't do that and blah, blah, blah. And then somebody sent me this caloric and I thought, okay, you know, number one, this looks really cool, right? I like it. It doesn't take up all my counter space. Love that. I started experimenting with it. And here's the cool thing. So number one, I love fried food. Who loves fried food? Raise your hand. I love fried food, but I know it's not very healthy for me, right? Because it just absorbs oil. Now I can air fry tater tots, French fries, chicken wings, all the things I love. I can air fry it if it's frozen. I can air fry it if it's fresh. It's going to have a nice big basket, so there's lots of room. I can do a lot at one time, but I don't just have to air fry it. This is like an extra oven in my kitchen. I can do a steak in here. I can do vegetables in here. I can do a cake in here. Oh, I can reheat food in here, which, you know, is a really big deal for me because I'm cooking for one. I can reheat food in here and I don't have to wait on a big oven and it tastes a lot better than a microwave. I love the fact that whatever comes out of this, i.e. this basket, goes in my dishwasher because I'm not big on cleaning. So this is one of those things that makes air frying really, really easy. And it's not going to take up all the room in your kitchen. And I love the fact that it's not going to break the bank. Now, the caloric is already a great value. On localsteals.com right now, you can get this for 30% off. I guarantee it's going to change the way you cook. I guarantee if I can do it, you can do it. Your food's going to be healthier. You're going to cook things you never thought of. It's an extra oven, and it's going to be the most used appliance in your kitchen.
As it being a future Hall of Famer, is it enough? Aaron Rodgers is trying his hand at something new. The Green Bay Packers quarterback will guest host an episode of Jeopardy this season. The show is searching for a permanent replacement for Alex Trebek. Rodgers didn't say when his episode will air. Former champion Ken Jennings is guest hosting right now, and you can watch Jeopardy at 7 o'clock right here on Channel 11. One more look live at the House of Representatives right now. Lawmakers debating whether to impeach President Donald Trump. We are streaming the debate live right now on WPXI.com, and you can tune in to Channel 11 News at 5 for the very latest.